I'm about to write my exam in just 3 to 4 days time. But I've been working in IT. I've got a degree in telecoms. I've been doing a lot of things in the telecom industry. So I'm familiar with a lot of programming languages. So by this time I decided to take another route into DevOps. I hope this journey is going to be interesting for me, even though I know the journey is not going to be easy for me, but I trust I work hard. And having you guys as a family, I hope you help me as far as you can. I'm grateful to be with you today. Thank you so much to everyone who is here.
Excellent. Excellent. We are equally glad to have you join us on the sessions. And I always tell everybody who joins, especially on their first day on this journey, that everything great starts small. People will join with different levels of understanding in IT. People will join with zero IT background. People will join with several years of experience working on premise who are looking for more challenging opportunities. And I always use myself as an example. I came in with zero IT background, but today I'm able to guide people get into the cloud and be able to stay in the cloud. Not because I know too much in IT, but because I know how to play my way around it and I know how to connect the dots. Let's have the next person. So we hope that as we journey along these 5 days, you will be able to have an idea of what you'll be delving into, because the next 5 days will not be able to give you 100% what you should expect in the cloud space, right? But it's going to give you an idea of what you would expect in the next few weeks to come as we begin with the full-blown training itself. So let's have Opeyemi Olabi. Let's have Opeyemi Olabi
Yeah.
tell us
So
why
good
he's
evening,
here.
everyone.
We would like to have you guys address, just tell us why you're here. Let's set some expectations and stuff like that. Yes, you have the mic, please.
Okay, yeah. Hello, can you hear me? Can you
Yes, we
hear
can
me?
hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Opeyemi Alabi. So I'm from Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. So actually I've been learning technology for some time now, and I have some little knowledge of some programming skills. So I'll be trying to learn cloud computing, especially to specialize the aspect of AWS cloud, in the aspect of AWS cloud. And I've actually been trying to learn one or two things from some tutors online. I'm very happy to come across Dr. Samba. I got to first know about him on LinkedIn. So from there, I've been trying to follow him all along, and I'm very happy to have this kind of opportunity to be in this learning of. So I hope to gain more knowledge and acquire more skills, because I've been trying to put my leg into the cloud computing industry, and I hope that I'll be very glad at the end. I'm very, very happy, and I wish to learn from this. I wish to learn from the tutors. So that's it. I'm very, very glad to be in this meeting. I'm very happy. Thank you very much, Dr. Samba, for this opportunity, and thank you very much, everyone. Yeah, so that's it.
Doc, your mic.
Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that notification. So we want to appreciate you, Opeyemi Olabi, for that intro, and to say that you just signed into the start of a journey, an amazing journey. I call it a journey. There is no end to this journey. It's a journey of continuous learning. And we hope that within the next 5 days, we'll be able to give you a tip of an iceberg of what you should expect in the industry. Probably you started doing some stuff already in IT, but then you get to collaborate with even more interesting persons as the days unfold. And we believe that in the next 5 days, we'll be able to connect a few dots that would give you a great standing as we move to the cloud. So let's have Leon Maga. I don't know if that's your real name. We would like to address you by your real name. If we're possible to rename, that would be great. But I see the name Leon Maga 22. Just within the next 1 minute, tell us why you're here, or 30 seconds, why you're here, your expectations. Because unless you have expectations, we will not be able to properly address them. Why are you here? What called you in?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Good evening to you and to everyone in the web. So I am so glad to see myself connecting with people from other countries, and see myself connecting with great people here. And I have no knowledge as far as IT is concerned, but that's been one of the fields that I've been like if I with time I'm going to venture into. But when I hear about this program, I say why not give it a try to see where I can move along and see people that can help me in the journey and so on and so forth. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I just hope that at the end of it all, I will be upgraded and I'll start the journey in IT, and obviously it's going to be of great help to me. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Excellent. Excellent. You're just like me. I came in with a completely different background in medicine. I had zero background in IT, but I was hungry and willing to learn. I was humble enough to sit down and to learn. After 7 years of medical training and getting to the work field, I decided to still take a pause and get back into IT while still doing my medical practice remotely. So I'll tell you, you're in the right place at the right time. Just keep an open mind and be willing to learn. I've seen people who came in with an IT background and with the mindset of, I know it already, and that limited the ability to learn and to grow. And those who came in with the mindset of, I want to learn, I'm hungry to learn, they were able to get in even far better than those who initially had IT background. So right here, we're going to make it to be on the same level ground for everybody, whether you have a ground in IT or not. So let's have Juliet actually tell us. So Leon, where are you joining from, please? Which country?
Yeah, sorry. Okay, sorry for that. Sorry for the for the incomplete introduction. I'm joining from Cameroon, Douala.
Excellent. Okay, that's fine. So let's have Juliet. Juliet, where are you joining from, and your expectations?
Good evening, Doctor. Good evening, everyone. I'm joining from Yaoundé, Cameroon, and I'm actually new into IT. I just started off last year, ending last year. I started with AWS Cloud. I have the Solutions Architect certificate, but I'm looking for where I can get guidance on how to navigate the cloud. I don't know actually what role I can take, and so I need guidance in that direction. I also need a
absolutely
a community where I can have opportunity to do more hands-on labs and projects, and anything at all that can help me in my culture. Thank you.
Excellent. I would say you're in the right place at the right time. That's the focus, that's the goal of SolarVis Tech. We try to help people understand the cloud not just theoretically, but we try to help them get the hands-on experience so they're able to back up their theoretical knowledge. So we hope that as we move along this journey, you'll be able to, get satisfaction with your initial objectives, but it's going to be a journey on which we'll be. Thank you. So let's have Collins Juma. 30 seconds, please. Maximum. Collins.
I hope you can hear me. Just confirm.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Collins.
this is Collins Juma, based in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm an AWS developer and also authorized instructor for AWS. I was just curious about AWS when I saw the post and wanted now to learn more about the program. Yeah.
Okay, great, excellent. So you are actually an authorized instructor, AWS developer, right?
Yeah.
So it will be a
Authorized
great
instructor
moment
for
as well.
AWS. Sorry.
Great. So it'll be a great moment for us as well to equally network and collaborate. I think I'll equally reach out to you. We'll be discussing in the back end as well as we move on. Thank you for joining and networking.
Thank you. Sure.
All right. So welcome, Emma. You have the mic, please.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Are you getting me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm Emma from Cameroon. I'm based in Douala. Actually, I'm not new. So I wanted to have somebody here in Cameroon who can have a community where we could work together. So when I saw you on LinkedIn, I was very happy, and then I also wanted to work with you because I saw the work you were actually building, bringing people together, and so I was really happy and think that if I can also join you people, I'll also learn a lot especially in networking and improving my career in cloud. So I'm very happy, doctor. And when I read about your background, being a doctor, you didn't not from an IT background. I am same. I'm from an IT background. I don't have any knowledge, but I entered the cloud from. I entered by the Cloud Hero Africa. That's where I learned about the cloud. I didn't know anything about the cloud, and so I was very interested in knowing about the cloud. And I think I'm on the right path, and I really want to, anywhere I see cloud, I just join because I really want to learn more.
Great to have you. We really appreciate you joining.
Thank you.
And we hope that together we'll be able to collaborate and build a thriving community together at SolarVis Tech. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. Okay, so let's have Wow or Emmanuel Giang. Emmanuel, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. So what are your expectations? Why did you join? And from where are you joining, please?
Okay, so I'm joining from I think I'm also
You're a bit far from your mic. Is it possible to get closer to your mic? We can barely hear you, please.
Can you hear me now?
Sorry?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now, but your voice is a bit faint. Maybe get closer to your mic.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better. Excellent.
Okay. So like I said, I'm from Ghana, and I think I've joined a few of your webinars from previous, and I'm very impressed with what I learned from there. That's why I joined this one because so far so good. I've been learning a lot.
Excellent. Good to have you share that feedback. I think I've seen you a couple of times. That's amazing. Emmanuel, it's an industry of continuous growth and learning. And thanks for joining once again. Okay. So let's have Leonard. Oh, wow, sorry. Wow, you have the mic. Let's have your expectations and where you're joining from.
So I'm joining from Ghana. I've been learning cloud for, let me say, 2 years plus, and I just joined the community the best way you can learn is to learn in a community. So yeah, I just want to add up to what I know, but I'm really always on projects that has to do with Kubernetes. So I'm mostly on Kubernetes stuff. So as I've joined the community like this, I'll be practicing more. I wish to add up. So that's just that.
Thank you very much for joining, Kwao, and good to know the work you're doing already on your cloud journey. We're going to start with the very basics. You've made mention of Kubernetes. A lot of persons here who are still very new may not know what Kubernetes is, but guys, don't worry. We're going to go one step at a time, and we'll be able to level up those skill sets. But good to know exactly what you're doing and the fact that you love to collaborate with the community, so we're able to build something stronger. Great. So let's have Leonard Sang. Leonard, you have 30 seconds. Where you're joining from and your expectations.
Okay, thank you, sir. I only joined just as you after that you change the name. That's why.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So let's have Michael. Michael, have the mic, please.
I'm very interested about the cloud.
Michael, we have a serious challenge hearing you.
Hello.
There's a serious echo from your end.
Wow. Hello, is it better?
Yes, excellent now.
Wonderful. So good evening once again. I'm Michael from Ghana. I joined this program because I really want to know more about the tech industry. I want to know more about the about the cloud industry. I want to know more about the cloud world. I want to know and get more knowledge on the various topics that we are going to be touching on during these 5 days of the webinar. And I believe that I'm going to be able to achieve that with SolarVice, because I've been following you guys for a while. And I've interacted with you, Mr. Samba. I don't know if you remember, but we have interacted, and I'm happy to be here with everyone, and I hope to learn a lot as time goes on. Thank you very much.
Excellent. That should be Michael Dangwa, if I'm correct.
Yes, that's me.
Excellent, great. Good to have you. Well, LinkedIn has helped me connect with lots of persons in the community, and I really love it. That's what really keeps me going in the industry, continuous learning and connecting with great people. So let's have Olufemi share with us where he's joining from and his expectations.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Olufemi from Lagos, Nigeria. Actually, I'm not totally new. I have my CCP already, and I'm an ELX learner. I'm preparing for my essay presently, which I'm supposed to write in 2 weeks' time. Basically, what I actually need is projects. You know, I've been learning this thing, but they are stuck in any form of real life experience. Of course, we've been doing we've been having our milestones in form of projects, which is submitted and all that. But I would actually like to work with you people so I can actually hone my skills and gain more knowledge. finally, I want to appreciate you for all the good work you're doing, because when I came across you your name the other time, I never knew it was something that would be so intensive like this. God will really bless you for us. And if you could come from the medical field to be an expert in AWS, then I mean it's possible. And that's what I believe. Thank you very much, sir.
Well, I appreciate you for the kind words, Olufemi. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we look forward to you getting value out of this community. It's a joy that we are able to continuously provide more value as we journey along. All right, so
thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. So let's have I think Opeyemi Olabi has spoken, right? Then let's have Ruben. Ruben, if you can hear me, you have the mic, please. Where you're joining from and your expectations.
Hello, Doc.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you.
I'm from Ghana, yes. And I've been joining your section for a while. And today I'm really good to have you. And I want to learn more about this community. That's what I'm expecting.
All right. Great. So do you have an experience already in cloud or in IT, or you're still new? You
Yes,
are trying to make a move?
I have 1 year experience in cloud engineering.
Okay.
And I'm not new in computing. Yes. I have degree in computing. So I'm not new. But I want to learn more about this community. Yes.
Excellent. Great. Good to have you. All right.
Thank you, sir.
So let's have Sydney. Sydney, you have the mic, please. Then the last person is named user. If it were possible to rename your device so we can address you properly, that would be amazing. Sydney, you have the mic, please. Hi, Sydney. You have the mic,
Yeah,
please.
hello. All right,
Yes,
thank you.
we can hear you now.
Okay, I'm Sydney from Ghana. I've started the journey to cloud a couple of months ago, but the materials seemed very overwhelming. So I wanted a more structured way to get to my end goal of knowing enough for the job market. So I think this initiative will be that structured way to learn.
I love that one. Your expectation here is similar to mine. When I was about to get into the cloud, I'm that kind of person who was really good in school. I worked extremely hard, and I knew I could get into the cloud by going through the self-study route, which means I could be able to study on my own. But at one point, the amount of material was really overwhelming, and I decided to seek mentorship and go through a structured training. And I really resonate with what you say, Sydney. And so we've been able to design a curriculum that would be able to meet your need, we'll be able to address your need. So we would say be patient as we start off the journey. And just an initial disclaimer, for some people, whatever we're going to be saying today or for the next 5 days, trust me, it's going to sound super basic, but we want to plead with you to be patient with us, because we understand that people here would be at different levels of understanding, and we would want to put everybody on the same level ground. We would want you guys to be very organized, especially in the chats. Do not try to rush the session. But then if at any point in time, any tutor who is coordinating the session says, maybe you should contribute in the chat, please do not hesitate to drop your contributions in the chat. But let's try to be coordinated, try to be organized in such a way that we don't, try to rush the sessions. And whoever is joining maybe with zero IT background, know that you have a place in these sessions 100%. Be patient with the sessions, with every tutor who is going to come on board. They know exactly how to deliver it to you, right? So let's now have the next person we have on the team. Let's have user. User, we don't know your name. Why you try to rename? I see Wellington and Arsene. Their audio devices are not properly connected, so they may not be able to hear us. It's true, we've taken over about 35 minutes. It was well organized for the session of today to lay the foundation, because as we go forward, we will not come back to these initial conversations. All right, so we have Peter on the call. Peter is currently taking a session with us. In the next few, maybe 1 to 2 minutes, I would like Peter, maybe user, is it possible maybe you speak before we bring Peter on board? User, I will prompt you to unmute yourself. If you're able to maybe rename and address yourself, that would be great. Okay, it may be having some challenges on that end. So that's fine. So let's have Peter. Peter is currently taking on the bootcamp with us. I would like Peter to share with us where he's joining from, his background, and his current experience with our bootcamp on the side of the training and the hands-on projects that we're doing, the intensity of the training. Peter, if you're in a position where you can be able to be on camera, that would be great. If not, it's fine. You can still do it without your camera on. You would have the next 2 minutes to share your experience and encourage the people that we have on this call. Over to you, Peter.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Samba. I don't know if you can hear me, and I don't know if I'm clear enough. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Due to network, I am sorry I will not be able to share my to be on camera. So I'm just going to be without the camera. It's actually very, very amazing. I'm so excited I'm given this opportunity to talk about myself. I am Peter Chin Nyoisa. I'm presently in Bamenda, working from Bamenda. I'm in Cameroon. And my background is in program management. I am a humanitarian worker as a program manager. It's like 4 to 5 years. And it has been an amazing journey for me to be part of Solavis Tech. I'm a student, a very proud one for that. It has not been easy, but it's something worth taking. There's a lot I've learned so far. You know, when I heard about the cloud computing, it was like a mystery to me. It was something complicated. It was something I was thinking, how will I ever get to this? But with Solavis Tech, these guys, let me tell you the truth, they demystify things. They make things simple. They make things clear with the amazing teachers, with it's a different thing when you have to say something, when you need to know something, to understand something, and there are people there always ready at any time to listen to you, to journey with you. And I just want to say it's something besides my expectations and what I wanted to learn so far that is concerned. I got to know that knowing cloud computing is just like having a new phone or a new device, whereby you constantly in touch with it and constantly working with it. You get to know more about it. So I'm so excited to talk about this, and I think those of us who are in the call we're going to have the opportunity to journey with Solaris Tech, and they are always there, available day in, day out. So thank you very much, Dr. Samba. I think if I keep on talking, keep on talking and talking.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I wish to encourage anyone who has some doubt, who doesn't know how to go about it, to always request for support.
Right.
Always ask for
Peter's network is kind of epileptic there. That's fine. So great. We got the message, right? So he's currently one of our students, and he joined in to encourage you guys as well, especially those who are coming from a typically non-tech background and about to embark on this journey. All right, so we are going to begin with our session for today. Those who are just joining, welcome. We see we have Arsene, though he can't hear us yet. Wellington, we have Uche. These two persons just joined in. Maybe we just hear from them in the next 30 seconds each. Wellington, where are you joining from? What are your expectations for these sessions for the next 5 days? Because you definitely have sacrificed a lot of things you could be doing to be in this session, which means you definitely are coming here with an objective. Why are you here? Where are you joining from? Do you have an initial IT background, or you are still a newbie into tech, getting to move into cloud or DevOps? The mic is yours, please. Hi, Wellington, you have the mic, please.
Hello,
Hi,
sir.
Wellington, we can barely hear you. Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello, everybody. Hope all is fine.
Sure.
I'm joining now because of internet disturbance. So I had problems connecting to the internet. Yeah, hello, everyone. I'm Wellington.
Yes.
I'm from Cameroon. So I had issues connecting to the platform due to internet problem. So I was like connecting to the purpose of connecting this, the AWS and the DevOps. Connections. Hello.
We can hear you right on. We can hear you right on.
Yeah. Like I said, I connected to the webinar to know more about the Amazon and the DevOps. The DevOps.
Okay, so that means you have zero IT background. Am I correct? You still want to get into the industry, correct?
No, sir. I have I have a background in IT. I already have a background in IT, so I was like, because I don't really know much about the AWS and the DevOps, the DevOps. So I like
that's fine.
want to know more about it. That's why I'm connecting to the program.
Excellent, great expectation. So we
Yes,
hope
sir.
you'll be able to follow through. I want to challenge every one of you. I'm taking the pains right now to know your individual, and I'm writing them down. I'm taking the pains to know your individual expectations. Because if you don't have these guys, you would just be excited in joining these sessions, and it's just going to be like every other session that you've been joining. Maybe you see a free link somewhere, you just join a free link, you just attend a free link, and then at the end of the day, you're not getting any value. So we really are focused on people who know what they want, who are going somewhere, and who are determined to go after it no matter what, because this journey is very, very challenging. So if you don't have laser focus, if you don't have a strong objective, if you don't have something that is pushing you to go after it, you'll get tired on the way and you get overwhelmed and you find yourself giving up. All right. Even if you have a good supportive community, you must be able to carve out something for yourself as an individual. You must be able to have that independent thinking and say, this is what I want from tech. This is what I want from the cloud. This is what I want. This is what I'm going after. That's the only way in which somebody can be able to help you, or guide you, or give you an orientation. Because everybody who is going to come here, nobody's going to be that superhuman being who knows everything. But they're going to be coming to give you little bits that will help you now be able to mold yourself through. But you must have something for yourself first. So let's have the last person. This last but one, we have Uche. Uche, you have the mic, please. Where are you joining from? Why are you here? Do you have an IT background, or you're new to IT?
All right, thank you so much. My name is Uche, like you rightly noted. I'm joining from Nigeria, Abuja. IT background, not really much. I think I have more business orientation and background than IT. So I'm actually looking out to acquire new knowledge in the world of cloud computing and DevOps. I've read a couple of things about DevOps, but this is actually an opportunity for me to possibly deepen my knowledge in the little thing I've known about DevOps. And I hope I will get improved in this, area of technology. Thank you.
Excellent. Good to have you, sir. Amazing. I share a similar background with you, coming from medicine, zero IT background, but with an open mind to learn and to grow. And today I'm glad that I'm constantly growing and evolving in the space of tech, and also inspiring other people who are looking forward to leveraging from tech as well in their various sphere of life. So I hope that by the end of the 5 days, you would see a need to be able to go even further with us along this journey, because that's our objective, to be able to have as many people as possible who would be able to see the need why they need to incorporate this novel technology or this growing tech skill into whatever they're doing right now. Thank you for joining. So let's have Asen. Asen, you have the mic, please. Where are you joining from? What are your expectations? And do you have any IT background? For now. Asen, if you can hear us, you have the mic, please. While Asen is trying to organize himself, let's have Divine. Vesonia Divine, you just joined. All right, so I think they are unable to unmute themselves, so we're going to start off with the class right away. So once again, everyone, I want to appreciate you all. This, maybe some people may be like, why would it take so much time, over 46 minutes, trying to introduce each other? Hey, Taiwo, welcome. Good to have you. Taiwo, we are just at the phase of introduction. We just get to know ourselves. Where are you joining from? Do you have an initial IT background? Do you have any exposure to cloud and DevOps? If so, all right, what are your expectations from these sessions? We would like to have that foundation while we move on, because we have some people here who are complete novices. We have some people who have, intermediate knowledge. We have some people who have beginner knowledge, and some people who are just curious, right? Who are already in the cloud, but they want to continue to network and to grow. So we would like to have those expectations set as we begin. Thank you.
Yeah, so for me, I don't really have an IT background, but I took some training on DevOps. So right now I'm just in, I would love to acquire more knowledge I want to be more comfortable when it comes to cloud subjects, DevOps, and all of that. So for me, it's just to acquire more knowledge to be able to launch myself into the DevOps market fully.
Thank you very much. Where are you joining from, please?
I'm joining from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada.
Excellent. Good to have you. So on the team, we have people from Cameroon, from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Kenya. So it's amazing to have you all joining. All right. So right now, we're going to move straight away into our subject of today. But just to let you guys have this initial background to know that at Solavis Tech, like I said, for those who are just joining, we take you guys through a journey. And that journey has no end. I'll say it again. We take you through a journey, and that journey has no end. Why? Because IT has no end. IT is constantly evolving. IT is constantly growing. Now we're talking about cloud. Now AI is coming in, and so on and so forth. We don't know what's going to come up tomorrow, but we have to continuously learn and improve and grow with every consistent trend that comes up. Why? Because change is the only constant thing, right? So, but then we are here today with cloud. So when we take you through the training, we also accompany you into projects. We also accompany you through your certifications. Then we also be able to accompany you when it comes to getting your resumes, and then also be able to support you for interviews and how you can be able to appropriately apply for those interviews and all of that. So that's the journey which will take you guys through. But for the next 5 days, we are going to be giving you guys not complete information that would make you full cloud or DevOps engineers per se, but we'll give you a tip of an iceberg. Because why? Some people here are still having the question in their mind, should I engage into cloud computing? Should I not engage into cloud computing? We just want you to take a look at what we have for the next 5 days and see if this is something that you would really want to embark on. Because we are so particular about the quality of the people we want to work with. We're also particular about the mindset of the people we want to work with. So we want to make sure that you actually qualify to be able to journey along with us. We are not so focused about the number, but we are focused about with the quality of the people that will be able to journey along with. Because why? It's a tough journey. But you know what? It's exciting because you're not going to be on that journey alone. You're going to be on that journey with a team of experts that would hold your hand. It's not an individual, it's not Dr. Samba alone. No, there's a team. Like you guys have seen, for those who have been following all what we've been doing, it's a team that is collaboratively helping people out along this journey. But you have to be intentional about that journey as well. All right. So while I'm about to dive into the training, I see Peter's hand is raised. Peter, anything? Oh, sorry, your lines are not the best at the moment. All right, let's have Asen. Asen is it seems we don't take Asen. Oh. All right, let's have Asen. 1 sec. Yes, Asen, you have the mic, please. Prof. Eric, please, is it possible to just mute Peter? His network is not the best. Yes, Asen, you have the mic, please.
Okay, am I audible enough?
Yes, please. Right on.
Okay. I'm actually a graphic designer, and I'm here for, because cloud computing is always something that has always been like the big talk in school and students actually. So I was very curious when I saw the link, and invited by my other brother. He told me to see on it since we spoke about it some time ago, and it was a good call for me. So I said, let me jump into it. I'm from Buea, Cameroon, yeah.
Oh, great. So who's your other brother, please?
It's Peter. I think he's the one I was trying to connect
Oh,
earlier.
excellent. Great. Great. Do you have any IT background?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Great. Nice.
I do have an.
All right.
Okay.
Nice. So we have been able to have a good cross-section of everyone's expectations. So right now we can start off with our training and go deep dive. So I would want to beg on you guys to give me your attention. Guys, please give me your attention for the next 25 to 30 minutes. I want to be very attentive. And I'm going to go more on the side of storytelling. All right. I like to tell a lot of stories. That's my own style of teaching. And I would want you to write down any questions you may have and ask those questions at the end of the session. And if you have questions, you kindly raise your hand and we're going to take those questions just at the end of the session. So what exactly are we going to be covering today? We're going to be covering the concept of global reach and cost optimization when it comes to the cloud. What is it really all about? Why is cloud computing this stuff that many people are talking about right now? And for those who were able to attend the session of yesterday, we went a little into defining what cloud computing is. And basically, for those who maybe are joining for the first time, I'll just say cloud computing is just all about you being able to access IT resources remotely, right? You just being able to access IT resources from anywhere across the world. At one point, I lost my laptop wherein I saved all my medical content. That was everything I did in medical school and while on practice as a medical doctor. All the surgeries I was able to do, I documented them on my laptop. And when I lost that laptop, everything went away. Guys, I lost every documentation, which means that my journey as a medical doctor, which was documented and it was well saved on my laptop, I knew that nothing could happen to it. I wasn't proactive enough. It all went away. And I began to ask myself the question, what if I was able to save all of that content somewhere in which I could be able to remotely access, right? Where I don't necessarily need to have my laptop physically present with me, I'll be able to have access to it, right? Which means I could be able to save it up or back it up somewhere else. That would have been able to save me from that mess, guys. But I never had a backup. So what is cloud computing all about? It's just like, instead of you trying to focus on buying and owning a laptop, some other person tells you that it's possible for them to rent you those resources based on your individual need. And what could be your need? Probably you're just trying to store some data. You're trying to store some data. Probably you're actually trying to maybe host an application. Probably you're just trying to be able to maybe analyze data. Analyze data. Whatever reason for which you want to be able to make use of any compute resource. When I say compute resources, it could mean maybe you need to process, stuff using your computer. It could maybe mean you need a database solution. Whatever you need a computer to do with, some other person tells you that we have the ability or the possibility to have you transfer that responsibility of managing all of that to them while you are able to access from any part of the world. So I'm going this basic to lay a foundation for especially those who have no IT background. So come to think about it, right? Someone tells you that instead of you buying a car for yourself where you're going to be the one to manage it fully, right? That person tells you, you know what, you can either rent an Uber or set up a company like an Uber company or a taxi company, and tells you don't have to bother on managing the taxi or managing the car as a privately owned car. They are going to go ahead, to take care of all the physical maintenance that will come with it, or every repairs that need to be done on it. All you have to do is just rent the services, right? So the person actually uplifts those challenges from you. and they take full responsibility of it. So there's kind of a shared responsibility involved, which means that that individual who comes in to take the place of, you know, that initial expensive overhead, which we may call, say, capital expense, we may just abbreviate it as CapEx, right? Capital expense, right? That individual takes responsibility of that while you focus more on just your business. And so now, when it comes to the cloud, what generally will happen with most companies is they will have an IT department. I take, for example, the company with which I'm onboarding for one of the projects we're going to be starting on, a huge project for a client in the US. We're actually going to be helping companies in the US, in Canada, right, migrate hospital data to the cloud, which means that many of the hospitals right now are kind of operating in this fashion, right? So we have these hospitals that operate physically, and every client that is, consulted, right, they get to store their data, or client data. They have to store the data on premise, which means that they actually have their IT department, right? And this IT department, they get to manage all the compute resources for the hospitals, right? And these hospitals, they have not just a single hospital, but actually have a chain of hospitals. So when patients come, doctors or nurses or medical personnel have to intervene on to these patients, and all of their records have to be stored and managed, and also done in real time to be able to give medical experts, a quick response in such a way that they can be able as well to respond to the patients as fast as possible and to improve medical treatment. So all of this work is being coordinated or managed by the health facilities themselves. And imagine, let's say, a health structure where they have a chain of hospitals, maybe 1,000 hospitals, and they have IT departments that have to manage all the IT infrastructure for these 1,000 hospitals. And now, which means that when they say manage all of this, it means that at the start, right, guys, what they actually have to do is they have to initially make an estimate of how many patients they may be having, say, in a month, in a year, in a day, and so on. Once they make such estimates, right, they have to go to the market. They have to purchase, hardware and install on-premise wherever, they are located physically, to be able to handle that workload. They have to build applications to be able to connect all of those chains of hospitals, and they have to take all of that burden by themselves. They have to put in place physical security that's going to be able to do what? Make sure that intruders cannot get into their IT department and maybe have access to client data and so on. They also need to be able to have people that understand how to put in place security measures online to protect client data in such a way that there is no breach to client information. This is just one of the examples I'm trying to give you guys, so they are able to relate the theoretical knowledge you have to something practical, right? Now, all of these, at the start of the company setting up or the hospital setting up, they have to make that decision. It's called a capacity decision. And that capacity decision is actually a guessing capacity, because they can actually anticipate to have 1 million clients in a year. But at the end of the year, they have 2 million clients, or maybe they have 500 clients, which means that they may find themselves in a scenario where they may either have gone and bought more computers or more compute resources than was expected or that was needed, or they actually bought less compute resources than were expected. Why? Because they may either have more clients or less number of clients that would meet up with the resource that they actually bought. So which means that there are chances that these hospital settings would be having many computers that will be idle, which means that they actually have money that is stuck there, is not being utilized. And for someone who is on the call, for example, Mr. Uche, who is a businessman, he would not want to go spend money and buy resources and have them idle. Why would he do that? He would want to make sure that he's able to meet up with his client's need and save costs. That's where cost optimization comes in. He, as a businessman, is thinking of how he can be able to meet his client's need, provide more solutions, but then how can he do that while spending the least amount of money? So now, think about the other scenario where you were anticipating, or this hospital were anticipating to have fewer customers. And so they went ahead and bought fewer compute resources. But then at the end of the day, business became good and many more clients came in. And what happened? The amount of resources they bought to handle those customers or those clients were not sufficient. They don't have the flexibility to just go to the market and purchase more resources to come back and attend to those clients. What do they have to do? They have to go out and sit in meetings and discuss and then drop another budget. And they have to go to the market and purchase those resources again to now come and be able to address their customers. So you see that with traditional way of doing computing, clients or customers or companies do not really have that flexibility to be able to address customer need. Come to think of it, when it gets towards December period, many people are going on holidays, are doing a lot of purchases, or maybe think about it on weekends. Many people are trying to watch movies online, say on Netflix. But during the week days, they may be at work, they hardly have time to watch movies and so on. So imagine a company like Netflix. I'll give you a use case like Netflix. Let's say, for example, Taiwo, who is maybe trying to get into, get into jobs now, those who already have an exposure into cloud. Come to think about it, this company is serving clients that would always have a change in the number of clients that try to reach out to the company website. Maybe on specific days, more traffic is coming to the website. Let's say on weekends, more people are trying to watch Netflix movies, but during the week, less people are trying to watch. Imagine trying to have, imagine trying to have a system where when the number of customers or number of clients are trying to reach out to your application, you have to go to the market and purchase more resources to meet up with the client demand. And when the amount of clients begins to register within the week where less for watching movies, you have to go physically decommission those resources. You say we don't have so much flexibility, but now with cloud computing, what can actually happen? Or let's say, looking at the hostel setting, what are we trying to do right now? So what actually happened is that we have some people that decide to come up in the market, and Amazon Web Services, AWS, was the first company to get into this business. They actually decided to go around the world. That's where the global reach now comes in. They went around the world. They looked for some physical locations. They did feasibility studies, a lot of feasibility studies, right? And they were able to set up physical locations. They actually allocated lots of physical locations, and they call these physical locations around the world data centers, guys. Can somebody drop in the chat? Just type in the chat data center. Drop in the chat data center. Let me know we are all together. If you can hear me, drop in the chat data center. Data center. Great. Your active participation in the chat also tells me that I have people who are collaborative, right? One of the things you want to know, like DevOps engineer, for those who are hearing the term DevOps engineer for the first time, DevOps just simply means you have developers and operations team that are working together, they are collaborating. So one of the skills you want to also build, if you're here for the networking, you want to build that skill set of not just being in your own closet, you want to also connect and collaborate with other people. And it starts off by showing up in the chat, dropping a comment, giving your own opinion. It's very, very important, right? So the data centers are just physical locations where, these companies went around the world and say, we've been able to do feasibility studies, and this area is good enough for us to be able to set up amazing giant supercomputers. So when you hear the word cloud, it doesn't mean that there's something in the cloud. It's actually in a physical location, but that physical location is hosting the giant supercomputers. But then those compute resources, everything is made available online in such a way that companies can now be able to remotely run their businesses from wherever they find themselves. So let's take, for example, Amazon. They started off in the US, in North Virginia, called US East 1, North Virginia. Then from North Virginia, they move over to other areas. Right now we have Canada Central, then we have Europe, then we have South Africa, all right? Then we have many other areas. We have California and so on, right? We have more than 30 different data centers around the world. And these are the big structures that they went around the world and they built. And so when they move to each physical location, they call it a region, right? For example, South Africa is a region. So in South Africa, they look for, they do their feasibility studies and they're able to set up these physical structures that have a separation, a physical separation of a minimum of 200 miles, 200 miles. And why are they doing this? Come to think of it, you're a businessman. I'll still use Uche, for example. You're a businessman. You set up a physical structure, maybe say in Nigeria, and you're running your business. What happens tomorrow in case you are faced with a natural disaster? Let's say, for example, a fire outbreak. Let's say there's a flood that occurs, all right? And maybe your entire structure goes down. What happens? You are going to bear the consequences, right? As an independent individual. Everything is on you, right? Everything goes down. And so you may start thinking that, why should I focus my business alone? Maybe say in Lagos or in Enugu or maybe say in Nigeria. And you start thinking of, okay, maybe let me set up another branch in another city. And then from another city, you think of maybe set up another branch in maybe another country, and then maybe another continent, right? Maybe depending on how your market is growing. So that's the mindset you have. And why are you thinking like that? You're thinking like that, one, because probably you want to take your business closer to your customers. Because the more you take it closer to your customers, the more you're able to serve them faster, the more you're going to have a better customer experience. That's number one. Number two, also because in case maybe there is, say there's a physical challenge in one geographic location, your business is not going to be shut down because it's limited to one area, right? Also, you have your business up and running in another physical location. So that's the reason why you want to move it to another location. Now, in cloud computing, we call that the concept of high availability and disaster recovery. You're thinking of, maybe what if rainy days come up and your business shuts down in one physical location? Let's say there is a lockdown in one location. Let's say there's a crisis ongoing in one location. How do you survive? You have customers you're serving. If you're not able to serve your customer, what happens? They're going to go back to your competitor and so on. So that's where you start thinking now of being able to expand your business globally. But then ask yourself the question, how much time, effort, and resources did it cost for that company to set up just a single physical location? And now come to think about it. How easy would that be for that company or for that client to replicate what they have done in one town or in one city onto another city? And then come to think about the physical challenge that it would entail again to be able to expand that business to another country. Every country will have their own bottlenecks. You see that maybe it may take you the next 6 months to a year and so on to expand your business globally. So when we now talk of the concept of global reach in cloud computing, what do we mean? We mean that you have now a flexibility where you can sit in Cameroon, you can sit in the US, you can sit in Nigeria, you can sit in South Africa, you can sit in Ghana in the comfort of your room, working for a client anywhere across the world as a cloud DevOps engineer or solution architect, whatever, and you are able to spin up a computer in any part of the world, guys. That is a beauty that comes to cloud computing. You don't have any geographic restriction, which means that you are able to go global within few minutes. You can help a company who is existing in America, and this client who is physically located in America, the moment they have a product or a service that is able to serve clients globally, and they start having more customers coming from another physical location, you who understands the technology, you are able to architect or engineer a solution in such a way that you can replicate their application into many other physical locations and grant access to customers who are in that location to be able to access the application. Guys, is this amazing or amazing? Drop in the chat, guys. Is this amazing or amazing? And the good news about this is you don't need to have any prior knowledge in coding. Not necessary at all. You don't need to have it. You don't need to have it. If you're that kind of person who loves talking to people, if you're that kind of person who loves explaining concepts to people, if you're that kind of person who loves discussing, being in meetings, then probably a cloud career like a solutions architect will be that area for you. If you're somebody like me who loves community engagement, loves building with people, then you'll probably love this path. And you know what? The good thing about a solutions architect is that you don't necessarily need to go deep into coding, but you can understand a little around what the developers actually write, and so you're able to collaborate with them. Yes. And the good news is you can learn these skills, guys. So when we talk about global reach, we mean that these cloud providers, it doesn't matter which cloud provider, right here on in a bootcamp, we're going to be talking more around AWS, but then like the client for which I'm currently engaging in, we are on Microsoft Azure. We're going to be migrating these hospital clients to the cloud using Microsoft Azure, right? They are currently on-premise. They have been running 100% on-premise, but we're going to be helping them leverage the cloud, which means that they no longer have to bother handling all of this bulky client data on-premise. We'll be able to help them move that to the cloud. And then on the team, we have people from diverse parts of the world. We have people on the team from Cameroon, from the US, from India, from Canada, wherever. It doesn't matter. Do you understand the technology? Do you have the right mindset? Are you open enough to connect? And so, like I said, these physical locations, like you see, we have giant supercomputers called these major data centers, but also we have smaller data centers in other physical locations that also help to bring this content even closer to customers. I think, for example, in Africa, so far with AWS, we have just one region, which is in South Africa, but there are smaller centers like we have Nigeria, I think we have Kenya, and maybe Ghana is in the pipeline, or maybe they already have one. I'm yet to check on that. All right. So if you guys have maybe information around that, you can already maybe notify us in the chat if Ghana already has mini data centers or edge locations. We actually call that edge locations, right? So the name for that is edge locations, guys. So edge locations are smaller other areas around the world. Edge locations. Edge locations. And the goal of these edge locations is to bring content. Yeah, local zones, exactly. Those local zones, they help to bring the content, right, closer to the end users. And there is a service. I don't want to get us into maybe the complexity of the different services. There's a service that is actually called CloudFront. So CloudFront, right, we're not going to go deep dive into this, but when we get into the bootcamp itself, we're going to go a bit deep dive into this, right? So whatever we've explained above here comes into what we call the AWS global infrastructure. The AWS global infrastructure. So that infrastructure that helps to break, things down. We have regions. Then from regions, we now have availability zones, right? Availability zones. Then we now have edge locations and all of that, right? But then there are other concepts that will come in when we go a bit deep dive into the training itself, right? But just to let you guys understand that what really matters, especially for those who maybe are looking forward to getting into jobs, is not for you to cram these concepts like you find it in the AWS documentation, guys. You need to be able to have a good conversation in your own words. That's truly what matters. It's not about giving you a word-to-word description or explanation as you see it. I'm not going to be giving you that. That's not exactly what we're going to be giving you. If you want to get the bookish definitions of things, yes, you can be able to get them from the standard documentations. But the question is, how can you translate that for a 5-year-old to be able to understand what you say? And that's what they're looking for in interviews. So in the course of our training, we'll be giving you guys use cases, not just giving you the theory, but also giving you use cases on how you can properly articulate and convince a potential employer to say, you know what, this person knows what he's doing, and he knows what he has done. And so in such a way that if you are discussing as a solution architect from this conversation, you should be able already to be able to tell a story. You know what, I went for this training. This is a take-home message from this. And so I hope that makes sense, guys. Does it make sense? Let me know in the chat, guys. Does it make sense so far? Does it make sense so far? Excellent. So if you were to face an interviewer today, I always tell people this. See, you don't need several years to break in. You just need that open mindset to build a story. Interviews is all about storytelling. You want to tell a story. That's one of the most underrated skill, guys. If you have been having a challenge of communicating what you understand with people, I want to challenge you from today. Start learning how to tell stories. Start learning how to relate stories. These things are all around you. We do them every day. But the problem is we don't know how to convert them into stories. So the more you learn how to tell stories, the more you educate others about this, And that's one of the things that we do in the bootcamp itself. We get to put you guys to work together in study groups. You have to collaborate with each other. Nobody succeeds on this journey solo. You have to work with each other. You have to collaborate. You have to share knowledge. Nobody knows it all, right? So that's what the global reach is all about, guys. It's not rocket science. Now, understanding this global reach, how then are we able to relate the concepts of cost optimization? I want you guys to know something. I am giving you a broad picture or a global image of what it looks like, but that's not all. 1 hour, 30 minutes is not enough for us to go into these concepts. So in the training, what are we going to do? We will take one topic at a time. We're going to go into the theory of it, then we're going to build hands-on labs for you to be able to have a good balance of the concepts, right? So now when it comes to cost optimization, I want you guys to know that one of the reasons for which customers are coming to the cloud is because they want to optimize cost. They want to save cost. They want to save cost. That's one of the reasons. And what is one of those costs that they want to save? Let me give an example. Imagine a hospital, one of the hospitals, for example, for which we are trying to migrate to the cloud. They actually have a chain of hospitals of more than 100 hospitals, all interconnected, working together. And let's say they have to put a physical structure that may cost them, say, $100 million, right? $100 million US. That is going to be the cost to set up the physical infrastructure, guys. Just the physical infrastructure. Okay. Now, come to think about it. Once they build that physical infrastructure, they have to buy the equipment as well to install in that physical infrastructure. And come to think about it, there is this constant updates being done to hardware equipment, you know, that today you buy a different hardware equipment because of advancing technology. Maybe in the next few years, it's actually outdated and you have to purchase newer equipment, or maybe the software you purchased is out of date and you have to get newer versions of the same software. Or maybe you can't, let's say, for example, those who are good on, say, Mac, there are some Mac versions for which, there's a Mac hardware for which, you know, you can't install latest versions of the operating systems onto those hardware. And so what happens? You have to abandon those hardware and purchase newer hardware. When you abandon that, what happens? That's money gone, right? That's money gone in hardware. So, but then that is what we call a fixed cost. You can't do without that initially. You have to engage that money in that hardware. But then when a third party takes over that responsibility, that's why you ask yourself the question, for those who maybe are getting into the industry because of the money, let's be honest, there are people who are here, many guys did not say why they joined the cloud. I'll tell you, when I was going to the training, many people are trying to be emotional or just maybe want to give a reason for which they joined this program because other people said so they want to just buy into their own reasons, you know. But for some people on this call, they are here for the money. Guys, they are here for the money. And it's a valid reason. Trust me. Some people are here because they've seen that with cloud, they're able to earn better compared to maybe other jobs, other traditional jobs, or maybe in combination with what they're doing, they're able to earn more and do that with, you know, having a better lifestyle. For example, we are doing this from home, guys. I'm able to do this from home. I have more time with my family. It gives me joy, right? I'm able to watch my son grow and all of that. I'm giving this training globally with people from different parts of the world. It gives me joy, right? And if I'm able to make more from this, why not? It even encourages me the more to even give back more. So now, the reason for which you're going to see most of these companies are willing to pay the cloud engineers or cloud experts a lot of money is because you guys are helping them save this huge amount of money they would have spent, right, in that fixed cost. Now you're helping them to be able to save this cost in the cloud. But then there is a disclaimer I want to make here. The fact that a company is coming to the cloud does not necessarily mean that they're going to spend less amount of money in the cloud compared to if they were running their business on-premise. A company may actually live on-premise and go to the cloud and instead spends more money compared to when they were on-premise. So what makes the difference? You need the right team to give you the right advice at every point in time, at every phase of your business, for you to be able to get into the cloud and be able to optimize costs. So which means that it all starts from the team that has to understand the client's business case and to be able to give them good coaching and advice on how the cloud will be able to help them optimize costs. It starts with understanding with the business owners, then having solutions architects who will help design a good solution that will help the clients optimize costs. So if you have a solutions architect who cannot help design a good solution that will help optimize costs, what happens? The client will actually come to the cloud, but they will be spending more money compared to what they have on premise. And also the engineers that have to implement the solution, they also have to be able to understand how to put in the best practices. That's why in every solution that we're going to be designing the cloud, there is something called the AWS well-architected framework. Well-architected framework. We're not going to go deep dive into this architected framework, right? I'm just going to, make mention of it. But then in the course itself, we're going to go a bit deep dive into that. For those who have already taken their certifications, they've probably come across this. There are 6 pillars right now in AWS, and over time, the number of pillars have been increasing. Initially, there were less than 5, and then of recent, the sustainability pillar was added. All right, just so that you know, all right, for those who are joining for the first time, so that we don't just give you so much information the first day and you feel overwhelmed, right? But I just want to tickle your brains to understand where we're driving at. So when it comes to optimizing costs, guys, there are some tools like what we call the cost optimizer, AWS cost optimizer, that can be used to estimate how much a client will potentially spend in the cloud. And so even before maybe they say they migrate to the cloud, they can be able to know, okay, this is how much money it will cost us to actually migrate to the cloud. And while in the cloud, this is how much money we will be spending. So they are able to evaluate and make that decision. Are we ready to move to the cloud now or not? So there are several tools that will come into play, guys. Do you understand? Does it make sense, guys? So it's not enough to say, you know what, a client gets to the cloud and they'll be able to save costs. No, it's not enough, guys. It's not enough. Do you understand the technology? Are you able to collaborate and build a good solution that will be able to help that client be able to optimize costs? It's very, very important. Very, very important. And that's why we're here. We're going to be taking you guys along this journey. So it's good to understand that when it comes to cost optimization, there are different ways. I take, for example, there are different tools and services that will help us. I'll give you just one example, all right, that can help you optimize costs. Now, let me ask this question, guys. If you have 2 persons who want to buy a laptop, one person just wants to buy a laptop, or before we get into that, guys, drop in the chat. If you want to purchase a laptop, or before you purchase a laptop, what are those key things that you're looking for in your laptop before you buy it? Drop in the chat, guys. What are those things that would determine the kind of laptop you want to purchase? Drop in the chat. What are those things that, guide your, specifications? Great, Lawrence. When you say specifications, what exactly do you mean? Can you break it down? Yes, the specs, what do you mean? Okay, the RAM, all right. The battery, okay. The capacity, maybe storage capacity, right? All right, the processing speed, exactly. All of that, the generation, all those things, right? These are some of the things that will guide your decision. But let me also ask this question. Do you also have a budget in mind? Do you also say, you know what, my budget is within this range, so I can't buy a laptop that goes out of this range. So you first of all start from how much you have, and then you start narrowing it down to, can I be able to have maybe a laptop that has these specifications but also falls within my range? Is that a way also of thinking, guys? Is that a way of thinking? Exactly. So when a client comes and tells us we want to go to the cloud, they are excited. I'll give you an example. We had this client who was equally trying to move to the cloud. They were equally a healthcare client, and they wanted to migrate to the cloud. We're so enthusiastic, and we took them over a month initially, because when it comes to migration, one of the sessions you're going to see on the flyer is migration, where there are about 3 phases. Initially, we have to just have conversations, which means assessment. We just assess the client if they're ready actually to move to the cloud. From assessment, we now are able to evaluate, to scan their resources, whatever they have, to see if we're able to mobilize all of those resources necessary for the migration process. And then the last phase will now be to actually carry out the migration process. But the fact that we start assessing doesn't mean that we have to move them to the cloud. We may assess and say that they are not even ready, right? So what we did for this client was we were able to assess them, and we noticed that, you know what, even though they were excited to go to the cloud, they never even had the right budget to move to the cloud. So we had to advise them, you know what, based on your current state, you will not be in the right fit to go to the cloud right now. So we're going to advise you guys to continue what you're doing. We give them better options to be able to work on premise that we're going to improve their client responses. And sometime in the future, when they're able to meet conditions A, B, C, D, E, they are now able to move to the cloud. And that was a very, very welcome solution we're able to offer them. So you see, the client budget also comes into play. So whatever you're proposing to them, you also want to consider that. So now when it comes to the cloud, for example, a client wants to use a specific kind of compute resource. And in our training, we're going to take you through different modules like compute, like identity and access management, different modules, guys, different modules. And when we come to compute itself, we will tell you how it's possible to be able to spin up different kinds of virtual machines. When we say virtual machine, it just simply means that you can spin up a computer remotely, with different kinds of operating systems based on the client's need. And also, when you're trying to make that decision, you also are going to make use of something we call the pricing model, guys, the pricing model. So AWS understands so well. They're equally there for the business. But when we say the business, what do we mean? We mean that they want to solve clients' problems. Note this, every time you hear the word business, ask yourself the question, what is the problem they are actually solving? Every business has a problem they're solving, right? So on the side of AWS, now what do? They provide a client with different options, different models. Yes, Lawrence, we're going to take your question at the end. So maybe you can just equally drop it. Not now, please, so that we're not going to break the flow. Thank you. So these clients have the possibility, for example, with different pricing models, like, you know what, AWS gives the option where they can be able to pay the full cost of a computer or a compute resource they want to use. And one thing you have to note is that the system in the cloud is what we call a pay-as-you-go model. Pay-as-you-go model. A pay-as-you-go. So you don't necessarily need to go buy those giant computers like somebody who is operating on-premise, and then maybe you're not using, right? You can put in place a system in such a way that if so many customers are coming to your website or to your application, then many more instances or many more servers or many more computers should be spun up to be able to withstand the traffic or to withstand the increase in the number of people get to your application. But then if the amount of traffic is reducing, you can be able to have an automation in place that does what? That automatically shuts down those instances. But then this cloud provider, for example, AWS, gives you the option whereby, you know what, you can pay the full price. All right. But then customers also ask the question, is it possible to have discounts? People always want to have discounts. So AWS says, yes, it's very possible to have discounts. So AWS says that, you know what, if you know that you're going to be in business for the next, say, 1 to 3 years, you know what, you can actually buy these compute resources, for example, in bulk. You can buy them in bulk. And that's what we call like reserved instances. Reserved instances or reserved pricing model, reserved instances, right? This reservation just simply means that you tell AWS, for the next 1 to 3 years, I want to secure this specific type of computers for my use case. So I want to buy them with a discount. And AWS gives them up to 72 to 74% discount, guys. This amount of discounts where you can even pay the full price upfront or maybe partially upfront, all right? So you get good amount of discount. And then there's another option which is called like spot instances. I won't want to go deep dive into this, but what does spot instances simply entail here? It just simply means that, you know what, there is a possibility where in the pool of unused computers, right? You know, like you could just go buy many computers and then, you know what, you're not using them. And then you go to the market and say, I'm actually doing putting these computers available for the highest bidder.
whoever bids at the highest price possible has access to my computers, right? That's what the provider says. So AWS also from time to time also makes available these compute resources that are not frequently being used by many clients, to be available in the marketplace in such a way that people can even be able to bid and have up to about 90% discount, guys. You can also have up to 90% discount, where now, once you get this and you're using, right, in case some other person bids a price that goes beyond yours, AWS now makes it available to them in case you're not able to pay for the new price in the market, right? If you're able to pay for the new price in the market, fine. You'll be able to retain that instance or that computer or that virtual machine, right, or that node, all right? And then, but then if you're not able to do that, the person who is able to pay for a higher price or the new price in the market, it's available for them to use. But then in the training itself, we're going to go deep dive and then, take you onto the console and show you how this works. And we're going to be able to give you many more use cases that you can be able to put in your resume and tell a potential employer, you know what, over the years, I've been able to work for company XYZ, and I've been able to work on projects XYZ. I've been able to apply my skill sets on this, and this, and these are the results I've been able to attain or be able to achieve based on what? You getting your hands dirty. There are many other tools and services that we'll be able to talk about on how we're able to optimize costs. But you know what? 1 hour, 30 minutes is not just enough for us to go into that. Today was just to be able to give you guys an insight of what cloud computing is, an insight or a high level of what cost optimization in the cloud is, and a high level of what global reach is all about when it comes to cloud computing and specifically to AWS. And just to let you guys know that the moment you understand this on AWS, you can be hired for a client that is on Microsoft Azure, that is on Alibaba, that is on Google Cloud. It doesn't matter. Trust me, it doesn't matter. If you understand what cloud platform, you can relate the same in another cloud platform. The principles are the same. Guys, thank you very much for your attendance. And at this point in time, let's take questions. So let's start off with Lawrence. If you have any questions, you can get in the chat, or you can raise your hands. Let's take your questions. Let's start with Lawrence. You have the mic, please. If it's possible,
hello. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Hello. All right. So I wanted to know, you were given an instance where you said you had a client where you realized
your mic is not the best, please. Can you adjust your audio?
Is it okay? Is it clear now?
Yes, it's better now.
Is it clear now?
Yes, please.
So I wanted to find out, you were given an instance where you said you had a client where you realized that that company was not up to transition into the cloud. So I wanted to know, apart from maybe the budget, that could be a problem to make or to prevent maybe an institution from going to the cloud. What are some of the maybe reasons that account for? Or yes, apart from maybe the budget of the company that is not up, it's not like ready. What are some of the this one that can really prevent an organization from transitioning to a cloud? I don't know if you get me.
Yeah, great question. So that question itself will be able to be answered when exactly you get deep dive into migration proper. Let me just give you a high level of what that entails. On the side of migration, like I said, there are different phases involved. In the assessment, the first phase would be an assessment phase. And in the assessment phase, we want to be able to ascertain if this client is actually migration ready. So number one is assessment. Number two is mobilization. And then number 3 is the actual migration. So we have migration and modernization. So they actually have to migrate to the cloud and then modernize. So number 1, we have to assess to see this client is ready. So like for this specific client, they were never financially ready. So a financial constraint was one of the reasons. Number 2, when you actually move them now into the cloud, the next question is, do they have the right team that is able to be able to manage what you now have in the cloud? Because it's one thing to move into the cloud, it's another thing also to be able to maintain the new infrastructure, which means that they actually understand the technology and they can be able to sustain what you have built. You get the point? It's just like you build a mansion, maybe for your grandmom in the village, and your grandmom is not able to maintain that mansion, right? What happens? Come back a few years later, and everything is gone, right? It's down. Or maybe you take billions and you give to somebody who doesn't understand financial education, right? What happens? They won't be able to invest and multiply that money, right? So it goes down the drain. So the same thing here in the cloud. You want to make sure that the team itself, the company itself, they are at a state where they have a team where they are able to not only move to the cloud, but they are also able to manage the resources appropriately that is going to be. And one of the things about the team is also being able to have a good security team, right? That will be able to make sure that, you know what, this new environment, because one of the reasons why clients are scared of moving to the cloud is because they will now have to give access to their resources to another person. For example, AWS is having access to their resources, right? And so when they were the ones handling everything, you know, they were like, you know what, we think that because it's all with us, we have full overview or full control of the security of it because it's with us. But it's not say 100% true, because there's still possibility for intruders, right, to get to that. All right. So, but then when it comes to the security side of things, it's equally a shared responsibility. So those are some of the things that you also want to be able to ensure. But then when it comes to the assessment, there is a whole there's something we call TCO, right? Total cost of ownership. You want to evaluate all of that, and then there's equally tools, that many tools that we use to be able to assess, to be able to evaluate, to say, you know what, this client is ready to move to the cloud or not. And it's only at the end of that that we're able to give a clear answer. So if you look at the schedule I shared with you guys, or the programs, we also have migration as one of the things that is going to be discussed. So you're going to get more on this on the migration class. Make sense?
Yes, Doc. Yes, Doc. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Thank you for the feedback, Richard. Great. Thanks for the feedback, Juliet. Any other questions? Yes, Prosper. You have the mic, please.
You hear me?
5 on 5.
All right. I want to ask about the issue when you were talking about the issue of availability zones. You talked about they are 200 miles away. So I want to understand what is the relationship between latency and the availability zone, how they link, because we've got our clients here, let's say in South Africa, the issue of latency and availability, how they interlink.
Come again, please. The issue of availability zones and what?
And latency.
And latency?
Yes.
Okay, great question. So Prosper's question is around the issue of availability zone and latency. So for those who are probably getting the term latency for the first time, latency just simply means how soon or how quick are you able to get a response from a website, right, when you make a request. So when a client makes a request from a website and up to the point where they have to wait and get a response, how fast are they able to get that? So if they're able to get a response real quick, we say that the latency is very small. And if it takes a long time for it to load and they get a response, it means that it has a longer latency, right? I'll take it over again. Latency is just how quick you give a request and get a response. So the shorter the duration when you give a request and get a response, the better, right? And so the customer experience is better. So when we talk about the concept of availability zone and latency, we are saying that, let's say, for example, you're in South Africa right here, and South Africa has many different, cities, and then the AWS data center is in a specific area here. I don't know, maybe Pretoria, right? For example. So we have AWS data center here, and then you have clients around this geographic location, right? You have clients on this geographic location. Then somewhere far off in Africa, right? You have maybe say in Cameroon, you have other clients, okay, somewhere here in Cameroon, a bit far off from the AWS data center in South Africa. So this is South Africa here, and this is Cameroon right here. So this AWS data center where we have these physical structures separated by 200 miles. Now, what happens is, if you have a company that is hosting an application here in South Africa, right, and this company hosting this application right here in South Africa is serving these clients here in South Africa, and then also serving clients in Cameroon, right? What do you notice? You notice that the distance between when clients in South Africa will make a request to the application and then get a response, this physical distance is shorter compared to a client who is being served from Cameroon who has to make a request and gets a response. All right? So because of this shorter distance or this closeness to the data center, the clients in South Africa are going to be able to get a better experience. So they're going to have a shorter latency or lower latency. And so their experience is going to be better. Compared to clients in Cameroon, we may not probably notice that, but it may just be a difference of certain milliseconds, right? Maybe certain milliseconds. And so for this client to make things better, they may decide now, say, you know what, because Nigeria is closer to Cameroon, this is Nigeria here, closer to Cameroon, and then they have a local zone or an edge location. So what they will do is that they will now bring the content, right, closer to Nigeria here, and then serve clients in Cameroon from Nigeria in such a way that when clients in Cameroon are trying to make a request from the website, what happens? They are being delivered over a shorter distance that is similar to the clients in South Africa. So which means that clients in Cameroon now will be getting an experience similar to those in South Africa. Does it make sense, Prosper?
Yeah, it does, because I was asking is concerning the issue of availability zone and cost optimization. Since I came across a certain question which says, if you transfer your content in different regions, you incur a cost. So I was just curious about the how can we make Do you hear me?
I think we lost Prosper. Yes, I think we lost you there.
You lost me.
Yes.
No, I was talking about the issue of availability of regions, since if we transfer our content in different regions, it will incur a cost. So I was just curious about that one, since we are more concerned about cost optimization and the issue of latency.
That's fine. The same thing will apply. For example, the cost of running maybe of electricity in South Africa will not be the same in the US, will not be the same in Canada, will not be the same in Europe, wherever. So each region will have its own unique pricing models, right? They'll have their unique pricing, because the cost of even setting up those data centers in those individual regions is not the same. So that's why if you're replicating your application into different regions, it will also come at a cost. And so you want to also before you make that decision, you want to know where things like how close is the client's where exactly are the clients' customers, right? So you want to be able to get application closer to them and stuff like that. There are a lot of things that you take into consideration before you even choose where to host your application. There are about 4 things that you have to choose or you have to make decisions on, but we're not going to go into all of that deep dive today. All right, so it seems Lawrence equally has a question again.
Thank you so much, Doc.
You're welcome.
So Doc, in relation to Prosper's question, I just wanted to know, so that means that AWS don't have any, there's no form of maybe something like an algorithm to maybe detect the shortest path for this one, unless they build the physical infrastructure closer to the customers. Is there no any, let's say maybe an algorithm that can detect maybe something like the shortest path to route traffic or something? I don't know if you get my question.
Great question. Great thinking. Great way of thinking. So that's one of the things that AWS has put in place, right? So in the course of the training, we'll also go towards a concept called routing, right? Routing in the cloud, where AWS has a solution where you're able to define different types of what we call policies that you can be able to determine different conditions for which you want to be able to send traffic to specific clients. It could be maybe based on the latency, it could maybe be based on their physical proximity, it could be maybe based on what we call, well, I'll just call the names high-level geolocation, geo-proximity routing policies. It will be maybe based on what we call weighted routing policies, maybe be based on what we call latency-based routing. There are different concepts, but we're going to go a bit deep dive, but just to know that that is a question, a valid question was actually asked by customers, and AWS was able to put in place a service that you can use to solve that problem. So it exists. Great question. Make sense? All right, guys. So we were supposed to end at 9:30, but I see you guys are still very hungry. We are wrapping up the session. So any other questions? Maybe we take one last question or 2 last questions. The last one, if there is any. Once again, guys, I want to appreciate you all. I want you all, those who are still in the chat or the call, just appreciate yourself in the chat. Just appreciate yourself in the chat for sticking to the process to the end. The very first step to success, guys, is showing up. The very first step to success is showing up. Just the fact that you showed up today means a lot to your journey. And the fact that you're able to stick to the session to the end means a great deal. So now, let me just share this with you for those who will be opportune. Like I said at the start, we promised you, those who were not there yesterday, they missed out on the bootcamp itself. We would be taking you through a live journey for 6 to 7 months intensively. We would hold your hands all through the journey. But there are people on this call who have taken out other bootcamps who will testify with you. They actually paid over $3,500, right? $3,000 for this training, right? But you know what? We understand the challenges that we have on ground. And so we are bringing it at this discounted fee of $2,000 for those who are out of Africa, and those who are in Africa are going to pay just $1,500, guys. And enrollment is currently going on. Guys are onboarding. And like I said, we are only focused on working with a selected few who are determined and ready to go through the process for the next 6 to 7 months. And must you pay all at once? No. There is a payment plan. You can pay in 3 installments. All right? You can pay in 3 installments. For those in Africa, 500, 500, 500 every 30 days. And those out of Africa, you can pay 1,500, 500. We are starting up, as you can see, exactly on the 6th of March. Onboarding is currently going on. You don't want to miss this particular session, guys. So that's it for me. And see you over at the top tomorrow with the next session, with the next tutors. We're going to be here. If you have any other questions, make sure you drop them on WhatsApp. If you could have people that are looking forward to join the sessions, let them reach out to us to join the Zoom. As you can see, not everybody just gets to have access to the link to just join the group. We have to manage to make sure that you have the right mindset and you're willing to commit to the process, guys, make sure that every day you come to these sessions, you actually go back home with a take-home message. Don't just listen like it's a movie, like it's one other program that you just attended online, but then ask yourself at the end of the day, what did I learn from this session today? What value did it bring to me? And if it actually brought value to you guys, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and equally encouraging others to join our sessions. Let's have Collins as we wrap up the session. Collins, you have the mic, please.
Oh, sorry, hope you can hear me.
5 on 5.
Yeah, I wanted to back up just based on the question asked. I can't remember the name in relation to data transfer outside the region. Yeah, so that is based on, of course, there is always some fee charges depending on the region you are and the data you want to transfer. So some services, let's say a service like there is advanced service like AWS or Amazon Transfer Gateway, where now if you're moving data from different regions, you will be charged, of course, but you'd find maybe in the same region, there might be no charges. So it depends based on the service that you're using. If you look at the service like Amazon S3, that is simple storage service, moving data to S3, you won't be charged. But now when you move out, you will be charged. So it depends based on the service that you're using. So every service has got their own pricing plan. So you can always actually check through the pricing for every service in relation to data transfer for each of those services. Yeah, and as you had also mentioned about I think he also wanted to know about the availability zones and latency. Yeah, as you had explained, I think you've just put it well. And maybe just to add on, latency is one of the things that is also considered when you are selecting your region. So it's always quite an important aspect to put into. If you have your user base in different places, so you need to ensure that that closer proximity will give them better experience, of course, because of that reduced time and response when they are accessing your data. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for the feedback, Collins. We appreciate you. And that's a beauty in this community where we get to connect, we get to share value. And guys, thank you so much. Juliet, thank you for the feedback in the chat. And just to let you guys know, especially those who are here for the first time, please, please, please be patient with yourself. I know what I'm saying. We've given you so much today. You know what? I want you to go home with just 1 or 2 things. If you have just 1 or 2 takeaways, it's more than enough, guys. You can't have it all on one day. Just tap yourself on the back. It's okay. You may have said a lot of things today. You may have a lot of things today that are quite new to you. It was equally very new to me at the onset. But you know what? I consistently went through the process. Guys, thank you so much. And if you can be on camera for us to immortalize this day, day 1, that would be amazing. Just get on camera. Let's do a short screenshot at the moment, 5 seconds. Prof. Eric, you just help us take a screenshot. Guys, if you can be on camera, that's amazing. You know what? If you can equally take a screenshot of this, guys, many of you got to know me through LinkedIn. Why? Because I document my journey. Guys, document your journey. Take a screenshot of this. Share your excitement on LinkedIn. Share with other community builders. Share with other people. Being a community builder today for AWS is because I shared projects I did with teams of people, right? And I showed myself out there, guys. If you have the possibility to be on camera, take a screenshot, take a selfie. And you know what? Share your learnings online. So let's take a screenshot of the session of today. In the next 1 minute, we're going to do so. And that's it. All right. Great. Welcome, Richard. Good to have you. You want to make sure you're in your best position, guys. Adjust your position. You know what? These pictures are going to go global. It's going to be on LinkedIn, guys. LinkedIn has more than 3 million people, or maybe over 1 billion people, or thereabout. You want to be in your best position, guys. All right, so let's have that. 3, 2, 1. we take it over again. 3, 2, 1. All right, that's fine. All right, guys. So what is the assignment for us before tomorrow? I want each and every one of us to write down 1 or 2 things you learned. Just write down 1 or 2 things you learned from today. Make a very short summary of it, maybe 1 or 2 lines, and you drop in the WhatsApp group. Drop that summary in the WhatsApp group and encourage someone else who was not able to attend the session of today, and tell them why they should join the next sessions, guys. Just drop your feedback in the WhatsApp group and share your excitement in the group, why you want others not to miss subsequent sessions. Thank you and see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Ciao. You can unmute yourself and wish everyone a good night.
Goodbye,
Or a good day,
everyone.
wherever you are.
Yeah, good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.